During the Afghan war, a Navy SEAL team is sent on a secret mission.
Going in with a four-man team, Axelson, myself, Dietz, Marcus.
They must capture or kill a notorious leader of the Taliban.
We have eyes on Shah. That's a lot more than 10 guys. That's an army.
But the plan goes wrong, and only one soldier lives to tell the tale in Lone Survivor.
Hi, I'm Scott.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Liz. We're here to talk about Lone Survivor. We've all just seen it. Scott, why don't you start us off?
This film is a masterwork. It is brutal, powerful, very intense. Directed and written by Peter Berg, who did The Rundown, Friday Night Lights, Battleship. Okay, I thought this was going to be a cheesy, corny movie because the trailers don't do it justice. But instead, this film brings Peter Berg to the level of Paul Greengrass, of Catherine Bigelow, of Ridley Scott.
Oh, Catherine Bigelow.
Yes, but this is a master class film. I loved it. It's fantastic.
Number one, Peter Berg is a very talented filmmaker and writer, okay? Friday Night Lights, Battleship, for what it was worth, it was entertaining, okay?
It was, yes.
But you know what? This film is less storytelling and more homage to what happens to soldiers when they're on the field of battle.
So what's the problem?
The problem is it's not a story. The second act consists entirely of a protracted, extended shootout. I get it. And it's brutal, and it's visceral, and it's violent, and it's engaging, and
Keep
it's all
going.
of those things.
Okay.
However, if you're looking for a story, if you're looking for something that's more compelling than that, he misses the mark on that.
The way I read the point of the film is that it's all about showing the extreme situations that these men go through in order to make sacrifices. And so if that's the intention, then I do think the film fulfilled that intention very well.
I think it was very successful on that level. However, I also, in talking to several people who read the book, there was a lot more meat in terms of what sets a person apart that wants to be special ops. But we don't get a sense of any of that with any of the characters in this, which is fine if it's more important that you look at the group as a main character as opposed to any of the individuals.
Looking to the point you made about how there's no specific characters, you don't really get to know the characters, I think that opening sequence was amazing, and that got me right into the zeitgeist of the film.
This is a movie that was really, it left me shell-shocked. When it was over, when I was walking to my car afterwards, I could not talk to anyone because I felt like I'd just been in battle. And on those terms, on that level, the movie is a resounding success.
I say again, this is Spartan 01 over.
Hey, eyes down. Eyes down. Eyes down. Eyes down.
Danny, you radio working?
It's feeling like a cursed op.
Not a curse, Tom. No curses. It's just Afghanistan, that's all.
These actors, you got Emil Hirsch, Ben Foster, Taylor Kitsch, and Mark Wahlberg. But when they're all out in the field and they're all carrying out their mission, the way they're all dressed the same, it felt like one person. Right. And the standout from that person was Ben Foster.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay,
He's great.
Yes,
He is an intense actor.
He's amazing.
Is so great in so many things like Alpha Dog and 310 to Yuma.
He's good at mechanics.
I liked him in the mechanics.
He's a fantastic actor, and he really stood out above the brutality of this movie.
I agree.
Shaw killed 20 Marines last week. 20. We let him go. 20 more will die next week. 40 more the week after that. Our job is to stop Shaw. Why do these men have the right to dictate how we do our job?
Rules of engagement says we cannot touch them.
I understand. And I don't care.
They're touting Mark Wahlberg as for these awards. They're, using him for marketing materials. But he was the most lackluster aspect of the whole film, in my opinion.
I almost thought that, man, was Mark Wahlberg miscast in this?
I do think he was
because
miscast.
I felt like he was more panic and less gravitas, right?
Well, Mark Wahlberg, it's interesting. When I was watching Lone Survivor and he was captured, and it reminded me of the scene in Three Kings, which is a brilliant movie from 1999, which
David
is
O. Russell.
ahead of its time. David O. Russell, talk about a movie that is more relevant now, but I digress. Mark Wahlberg knows how to play that captured person really well.
All of the men had this particular kind of masculinity,
right,
in various shapes and sizes and colors. There was so much variety, but they all had this kind of upstanding macho-ness that I really appreciated. It kind of exuded, the whole film exuded it, and it lifted from the screen.
And it drew them together, too.
Yes, and that was,
really had each
brotherhood was extremely present
Absolutely.
in this movie.
Right.
And it was directed really well by Peter Berg. I know you think that there's not much character development in these soldiers, but I do think there were small character moments, especially when specific characters die. They each get their own time in the sun, essentially.
I feel like he invoked a man's man style, which is pumped up, gritty, dirty, sweaty, bloody, just muscling through all the kinds of things that these guys are being challenged with.
It's unflinching, doesn't pull any punches, but that's what he wanted. He wanted to capture that feeling of war. Peter Berg proves his chops as a masterclass filmmaker with this brutal, powerful film, one of the year's very best. See it.
Lone Survivor is a powerful homage to the physical sacrifice made by fallen soldiers that's best viewed at home. Stream it.
Lone Survivor is a male-dominated film that doesn't make any apologies, but tells an engrossing story. See it.
Our votes add up to 2.5 tickets. That is a see it for Lone Survivor. Cheers.
Cheers.
And here's to America's heroes.
I kept waiting for Marky Mark to get up and do the Napoleon Dynamite dance. I'm just saying.